Hey there, everyone, and happy Friday Eve to you all. Thanks for joining us tonight on UpNorthLive Unscripted at 6:30. Let's bring in our meteorologist, Joe Charlevoix, because a lot of weather events happening. So today, not a whole lot going on. Some snow, but it was a little warmer out there.
Yeah, did you feel that today?
Yeah, I guess
did
I
a
was.
little bit.
Yeah, I wasn't as cold as I usually am when I walk my dog in the morning.
That's a start, so that's good. Yeah, it was. We had a lot of spots back into the 30s today, and we're going to get there tomorrow. It might even be a little warmer tomorrow than today, but we're going to take a look at that. It's not going to last long, though, because we've been talking about this since last Friday, this cold snap coming in early next week. So kind of time out when that cold air gets here and any snow chances, too. We'll take a look at all that a little later.
Alrighty, thanks so much for that, Joe. Let's start off with one of our top local stories tonight. So the finishing touches are being put in place for a new casino in Benzie County. Tribal members will get the first look inside the casino this weekend, and the public is welcome to come check it out next Wednesday. But we actually got a sneak peek inside the casino today, and we looked into what it takes to build a casino and what's potentially next for this space. So here is Mark Chalette with that story.
We've had about literally 60 days to turn this government building, over to a casino, and there's a lot that goes into it that most people won't even realize.
It may be a sprint right now for the Grand Traverse Band to complete the transformation of this building into its Crystal Shores Casino, but the process to get here has been a marathon.
Obviously, this is not an idea that just popped on the table last week and we decided to do it. This has been for years, planning in the years and years and years.
All that planning and a whirlwind of construction has led to the band being able to unveil an experiment of sorts on the tribal land on Hoadley Road near Benzonia.
It's a small place right now. We could have a good time. And if that's the feel that we get, Mark, a year from now, we're looking at the data and we're looking at the demographics, then that's what we'll go with.
But if this, the band's third casino in its third county, proves to be popular, they'll look at the numbers and plan a larger scale facility.
If we just decide to build, a smaller version of Leon Sands or Turtle Creek or somewhere in the middle, then that's what we'll do. But we'll let the data speak for that. We'll let the data dictate what we do there in the future.
This space, offering slots and bingo for now, will fit the bill. An opportunity to size up the interest from the public who may come here to win cash or earn it.
The economic growth for the tribe is one piece, but the other part is, making sure our neighbors and our tribal members have a great place to work with great benefits to kind of, literally change their lives. And that's our main focus here.
And Mark is joining us live now from his car with more on this story. Hey, Mark.
Yeah, in the summer, get further away from work and I can get home. I can get to a park or someplace. Right. Roads are out there, so take it easy. So this is as far as I got.
Yes, and if you are driving tonight and maybe you have to take a phone call or something, it is okay to pull over like Mark is doing right now. All right, so back to this story. It sounds like 60 days they have been working on this casino. That's not a very long time.
Well, it's not. And really, 60 days kind of construction. They have been planning this, doing paperwork, dreaming of this for a long time. But 60 days from kind of when they were like, all right, we're going to convert this community room in the government office building there in Benzonia, the tribal government office building. They had this beautiful space and they were like, this might be a good little experiment, kind of a trial, see how it goes. Let's start with this, kind of gauge public reaction, like, do people want to come do this here before they invest in what may come next? So 60 days, it's been a sprint. And Johnny told me, he's like, we opened for the tribal members for their opening. And he's like, we'll probably be working on it 10 minutes before we open. Yeah. So they're gonna do a soft opening this weekend for tribal members to come see what's being offered. Monday, Tuesdays are going to be their normal days where the casino is closed. So they're going to use the Monday and Tuesday to kind of go through, like with any soft opening, when a restaurant or anybody does that, you kind of figure out, okay, we ran people through here. What do we need to fix? What do we need to address? What can we do better? They're going to use Monday, Tuesday to do that. And then on Wednesday, a grand opening for the general public to come see what's being offered.
And again, like you mentioned, this is kind of just an experiment. So based on data collected, they could potentially expand. Do you know how they're going to be collecting that data?
I think it's probably a head count.
Yeah.
But it's pretty basic, simple stuff. Like, are there a lot of people that are coming to take advantage of this? And they kind of hinted that this may be something where they leave it like this for, 6 months, a year, something like that, just to kind of get a good track record, maybe perhaps to run through seasonal variations of traffic and demand. So I don't think they're in a rush to instantly get to whatever may be next.
Mhm.
They're going to use this time, kind of methodically plan and scale this appropriately. Take their time, make a right decision, and kind of see what could come next. And it could be something, as they referenced, it could be something between Leland Off Sands and Turtle Creek size. They were like, we're not going to build a 2-story casino if a smaller one fits and works well for us. So I think they're really going to see this kind of trial, a temporary, if you will, space, and then make their decision. But it could mean, 6 months from now, a year from now, they look at things and say, hey, this will support a much bigger operation, which obviously is great if the customers are calling for that, but it also would be an expansion of jobs and opportunities and help the workforce there in the Benzie County area. Casinos and venues in general tend to support nearby businesses as well. You get more traffic in that area. The gas station down at the end of the corner is going to get a little more business. Other things around the area can also benefit from increased traffic. So this could be a step right now. They said they already had a lot of people apply for these jobs. They were very grateful that these jobs are going to be available even in their current setting. If this were to expand, obviously those opportunities expand as well.
Sure. So do you know how many jobs right now they are looking to fill?
I do not know that number. And I think I imagine it's probably one of those things where once they do the soft opening, they'll start to be like, okay, we have a better idea of what we need.
Right.
We really needed more people to do X, Y, or Z. That would be helpful. And they may adjust those things.
Because I'm assuming right now, since it'll just be slots and bingo, you probably don't need too many extra employees. But if they do expand, that's where you really are going to need more workers.
More workers. The space isn't going to get much bigger for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to offer what they do. And you make a good point and something they wanted to stress. Right now, it is slots and bingo. It will expand potentially to table games and other things that maybe you anticipate at a casino over time. But right now, it's slots and bingo.
They're just going to play it by ear and see how many people are interested and go from there?
Yeah. I think that's the game plan right now. Well, right now, they're pounding nails and plugging electronics in. That's what they're doing now, making sure that, hey, we have this casino ready to go. It's a beautiful room, it's lovely. And the ultimate goal is to return it back to a community room when they do potentially build a new space. Because the community room was important. It was where lots of activities and events took place. So they would like to get back to that. But for the time being, they're using it as this. Down the road, they may be building a whole new facility and then allowing this to go back to a community room.
I see. Anything else you want to mention, Mark, that we haven't talked about yet about this project?
It's interesting. You could see it on the workers' faces and everything like that. They're excited about this, but they have been working very hard. This has been a sprint. And they made reference to the fact that the construction crews that they brought in have worked overnights. They've worked weekends to try to make this happen. And they're very grateful for all the help and support that they've gotten from contractors, from employees, from people stepping up to make this happen. This has been a sprint, and it will continue to be a sprint until at least Friday or Saturday when they open for tribal members. So there's some enthusiasm there, and this does expand the band's footprint in terms of gaming to a third county. And I think they've been successful at their other two, so they're hopeful and confident that they can be successful at this one as well.
And we'll just see what happens next.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see.
All right, Mark, thank you so much for joining us and for going a little more into detail about this casino project. Now let's turn things over to our question of the day related to this story. Do you think more casinos should be opened in Michigan? You can scan the QR code on your screen right now. That will take you to our website where you can vote yes or no. We will take a look at those live results a little later in the show, as well as some comments that we have been getting on them. But let's turn things over to a story out of Antrim County. It's kind of an update on a story that we've been talking about for quite some time now. So the county might be moving forward with plans for a public safety center. Now, if you do recall back in November, this was actually on the ballot to fund this safety center, and it failed on the November ballot. And meanwhile, the county jail is getting worse and worse in terms of the conditions. So here is Up North Live's Daniel Zivian with the update on this story.
Antrim County has always been very careful with its money. We take it seriously that this is public funds.
But options are dwindling for Antrim County as it tries to replace the aging jail. Residents rejected a $25 million bond proposal by just 223 votes.
We would have been moving back in November. That would have given us the potential to break ground at the end of this year. We no longer have that realistic potential. So everything kind of gets moved until the following year to even start with construction.
The commissioners have a motion to fund the project without a tax increase. It's a 25 to 30-year plan using municipal bonding or a USDA loan, paid off from within the county budget.
I've expressed to the board that they shouldn't take action here unless they're committed to going this route, because once we put out requests for proposals from architects and construction managers, we're saying that we're committed, and we don't want to waste anybody's time unless this board is prepared to fully move forward.
Sheriff Kevin Hoke, whose office would move into the Public Safety Center, says his deputies will tread water in the old jail for however long it takes.
You're looking at well over $2 million for plumbing, and why spend the money or taxpayer dollars for something like that if the Public Safety Center is going to pass?
In Antrim County, Daniel Zivian, Up North Live News.
And we will continue to keep you updated on this plan as more updates come in the future. Well, I'm sure throughout the years, many of you folks have probably been to a job fair or two, but what about a volunteer fair? So if you're looking for a way to give back to the community, but maybe you don't know where to start or which organizations to look at, there is the perfect event for you coming up in Grand Traverse County. So the Traverse District Library is hosting a volunteer fair next week. So all these different local organizations, they'll be looking for volunteers to help out, and it'll give you a jump start on your volunteer journey. So the fair will be held in the McGuire Room at the library. That is just to the left of the library entrance. And this will be a great time for people to connect with organizations, learn more about what exactly they do, what is required of a volunteer, and just all the different opportunities in the Grand Traverse area.
A lot of times people think the library is a source of information, but most of the time what we're doing is we're connecting people to other sources of information. And that's really where we see our role here in this volunteer fair, was trying to help people make those connections, those personal one-on-one sort of connections, to be able to then go ahead and find a place that works for them.
And there are so many different wonderful organizations around the Grand Traverse region. So it also would be a great way to learn about just what's happening in your community and different ways that you can help out. So the fair will run from 4 to 7 p.m. on January 21st, and we have more information on our website, UpNorthLive.com. Let's take a quick commercial break, but we will be back in just a few minutes. We'll check back in with Chief Meteorologist Joe Charlevoix. We've been talking about this cool down for about a week now. It is on the horizon. He'll let you know how cold it could get and if we have any more snow in the forecast. So all of that in just a few minutes.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
It is almost Friday, which means it is almost the weekend. And during the winter, especially when we have snow on the ground, I know a lot of folks around northern Michigan like to take advantage of the weather, get outside, do some skiing, snowmobiling, snowshoeing, all that fun stuff. So, Joe, do you think the conditions will be good for all those fun winter outdoor activities this weekend?
Yeah, I think so. Especially Sunday, though, you're going to want to bundle up maybe a little more than usual.
Okay.
Some colder weather coming in into early next week. Ice fishing, too. All those things that you just mentioned. The weather looks okay. But it is going to be really cold. And I know some of the older folks are like, well, it used to be 5 degrees all the time. Well, not really. 5's pretty chilly. So that'll be early next week. Let's go to Gaylord, though. Here's a look at that right now, downtown off the Crave Pizza building. Earlier, around 5 o'clock, we actually had some pretty good snow coming down here. We've had a band of snow crossing through northern Michigan, but no major traffic issues here. You can see traffic moving along fine there downtown. All right, our 3 big things in weather here across the north. Number 1, warmer and windy tomorrow. It'll be the warmest day of the week, and for the foreseeable future here, almost 40 degrees in spots, but it will be blustery with a gusty southwest wind. Then we get that massive drop in temperature. And that cold snap it'll start Saturday, but Sunday through Tuesday will be the 3-day real cold stretch. And then, of course, that's going to kick up lake effect snow. Last check, the Great Lakes have 11% ice cover, meaning that 89% of the lakes are wide open still. So there's a lot of evaporation for lake effect snow. Here's radar this evening. We had some snow showers last night. There's a look at things tonight across parts of northern Michigan. There's a little closer look at some of the snow. There it is. Hitting the button here. Around Houghton Lake, up toward Grayling, you can see some of the snow showers. These should actually taper off. I don't think we're going to get a lot more snow overnight tonight. Tomorrow, though, separately, we're going right through tomorrow. A little bit of snow maybe to the north in the morning. It will be warm enough tomorrow that we could even see a little rain mixing in. And then watch this tomorrow night. You see the rain and snow mix? That is the cold front. That is the leading edge. That's the leading edge of the cold air for the next few days. That'll pass through here tomorrow night. And then we start to see some lake effect snow on Saturday. But as temperatures cool, the colder the air mass, the less moisture the atmosphere can hold. So when you get down, 5 degrees, it'll be a powdery type of snow looking ahead. There's our forecast on snow through tomorrow night. Not a lot, really. Snow won't be a big issue. Here's a look at the wind, though. So these are the peak winds. Now, look at Frankfurt around 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. You're looking at a gust, the peak winds of 40, 45 miles per hour, perhaps, if not more. The strongest winds will be near Lake Michigan. So you're going to note that tomorrow driving around. It'll be a windy day. As far as the cold air, it's way up north still. See that place up there, Maya? Kagarik? Yeah, it's 35 below. North of Hudson Bay. That's going to start sliding down. You see that as we look at the upper air pattern, the forecast. Here comes the cold air. That'll kind of sit over us Monday and Tuesday and bring in that chilly weather for the north. So here's the 7-day forecast. Again, snow showers Saturday, and then the 3-day really cold stretch. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, there will be some lake effect snow. Now, if you're not in the snowbelt areas, because it's so cold, you actually get some sunshine in spots, but obviously, it's not going to be that warm as we look ahead here, Maya. And then another chance for some snow next Wednesday.
I'm not looking forward to that cold weather.
Yeah.
And neither is my dog. He hates the cold weather. But anyway, we'll get through it together. Don't worry.
All right, sounds good.
All right, folks, we're going to take another quick break, but we'll check in with Sports Director Harrison Beebe coming up next. It is a busy night for professional and college sports teams across our state. I know, let's see, Michigan basketball, the Pistons, and the Red Wings are all in action tonight. For more on that, let's turn things over to our sports director, Harrison Beebe, who's live in the Content Center. Hey, Harrison.
Hey, Maya. What a time we live in to follow sports here in the state of Michigan. I was talking to a viewer yesterday at the hockey game I was at, and we're talking about, obviously here in UpNorthLive, we like to localize the coverage as best we can and get Northern Michigan the spotlight. But at times like this, where pretty much every team is firing on all cylinders, I mean, this is truly a unique time in the history of Michigan pro and college sports.
Yeah.
The Lions, you don't need to say anything else about the Lions. We know what they're doing. The Tigers, who we're not even going to spend any time talking about technically, just came off that great playoff run that people are going to remember for a long, long time, regardless of what happens this upcoming season. The Pistons and Red Wings both look like real tough teams to beat in the NBA and NHL. And oh yeah, when we got time, Michigan and Michigan State are both the only remaining unbeaten teams in the Big Ten Conference. And that's now a loaded conference with 18 teams. So every direction you turn, there is something at the very least interesting going on. And I can't say I've ever seen, obviously the Lions kept the bar pretty low for so long. So for them to now raise that bar and then for these other teams to kind of almost rally behind that, I don't know if that's going to be a coincidence in between. I heard rumors that the Pistons are trying to get Dan Campbell after the season gets done to come talk to the team. But it almost seems like what the Lions have done has motivated the rest of the Detroit sports to kind of step up to the game. And then, Tom Izzo and Dusty May here in the Big Ten showing why it's not the West Coast teams that need to show off for basketball. It's the teams here in the state of Michigan.
I definitely think there's some truth to that, Harrison. I mean, these other Detroit teams are seeing the entire state rally behind the Lions and just seeing all of the excitement around them. And they're probably thinking like, wait a second, like we can do that too. We just got to start playing well. And clearly everyone got the assignment and they are achieving.
You're not kidding yourself. You can't get any lower than an 0-16 season. That's what the Lions did in 2008, where everybody thought, okay, this is just going to be the rest of our lives. This is where the bar is set. Yeah. But you can't get any lower than that. And the way the Lions are playing right now, it's hard to get any higher than that. So it just goes to show anything really is possible. And what a time to have a remote control to watch TV.
What a time to be alive. All right. Thanks so much, Harrison, for that. And we have to take another quick break, but we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme.
Our question of the day today is, do you think more casinos should open in Michigan? You can see the live results on your screen right now. We have 254 votes. 78% say no, 22% say yes. And kind of interesting, a lot of comments on our Facebook post are related to online casinos. So Jessica says, yes, don't like online. And Chad says, why not? Online is way better. So mixed opinions there too as well, but that'll do it tonight for UpNorthLive Unscripted. Thank you for joining us. As always, we'll see you back here at 11 o'clock tonight. Take care. Thank you.